And here we go. So, musicals and the top 40 hits they created. Now, we all know about Camelot and its rather twisted journey on its way to Broadway, where Moss Hart had a heart attack. Alan J. Lerner was hospitalized because of bleeding ulcers. And, no one was really in charge of the production as it lumbered its way from Toronto to Boston to New York. And when it opened in New York, it got mostly mediocre reviews. And of course, Ed Sullivan promoted Camelot at the insistence of Lerner and Lowe, and Camelot did become an icon. Well, some years later, Julie Andrews was doing a concert, and this most famous song from Camelot was highlighted in the concert with a surprise special guest.
If ever I would leave you, it would be in summer, seeing you in summer. I never would go, your hair streaked with sunlight, your lips red as flame, your face with a luster that puts gold to shame. But if I'd ever leave you, how could it be in autumn? How I'd leave in autumn, I never would know. I've seen how you sparkle when fall nips the air. I know you in autumn, and I must be there. And could I leave you running merrily through the snow, or on a wintry evening when you catch the fire's glow? If ever I would leave you, how could it be in springtime, knowing how in spring I'm bewitched by you so? Oh, no, not in springtime, summer, winter, or fall. No, never could I leave you.
Now, one of the problems with this is Robert Goulet, I think, in my opinion, musically started murdering pieces of music. I mean, adding his own interpretation to what Lerner and Lowe had written, murdering rhythms and so forth. And it was such a part of pop culture that Robert Goulet became almost a caricature of himself as time went on. But I thought it was interesting to see this. I mean, it is a magnificent song, and it identified with Robert Goulet so specifically. So, in any event, another musical. Now, this one you may have forgotten or never have heard of. It was Phil Silvers and Nancy Walker, written by Comden and Green, with music by Julie Stein. Some of the music is absolutely exceptional. It's about a crooked story about the woes of the jukebox musical, jukeboxes and the music industry at the time. Well, this song went to the top of the pop charts and was done everywhere.
Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart the heart you sing to. One smile that cheers you. One face that lights when it's near you. One girl, you're everything if you win it, comes and goes in a minute. Where's the real stuff in life to cling to? Love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you've found her, build your world around her. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy, and you will be happy too.
And such as it was for that wonderful song. Well, No Strings, which was monumental in a way when it was written in 1962, was the first time Richard Rodgers actually writes words and music on his own. He wanted to prove that he could survive without Oscar Hammerstein. So this was a major accomplishment for him. It's the story of a writer from Maine who has a writer's block and goes off to Paris to try to open up his thinking, and it had a casting oddity. There's nothing in the script that would suggest that Diane Carroll, a person of color, would be the lead. And as a matter of fact, this was the beginning of the civil rights era. Many people found this extremely offensive. But, you know, the two hit songs that came from No Strings certainly created a bit of success for it. Now, again, the reason we don't see No Strings today is because there's nothing in the script that alludes to the interracial love affair. And Richard Rodgers was given, you might call it, a Sympathy Tony Award for words and music. But this song was being played everywhere as well.
The sweetest sounds I'll ever hear are still inside my head. The kindest words I'll ever know are waiting to be said. The most entrancing sight of all is yet for me to see, and the dearest love in all the world is waiting somewhere for me. Is waiting somewhere, somewhere for me. And the dearest love in all the world is waiting somewhere for me. Is waiting somewhere, somewhere for
Well, if you didn't know it was Perry Como at the beginning, you certainly found out by the end. An interesting thing is, you know, the title of the musical was No Strings. There were no strings in the orchestrations of the original musical. However, as it was interpreted for the radio and television, you certainly did hear the strings, which is not exactly the way Richard Rodgers had intended it. Well, the musical Carnival, a hate fest between Gower Champion and David Merrick and the leading lady, Anna Maria Alberghetti. Again, David Merrick insisted as the producer that a hit song needed to be written because he was not going to pay for the song from the movie Lily, which everybody knew. And he insisted that something replace it. Now, of course, he and Alberghetti fought like crazy. He hated her because she was a tempestuous Italian opera singer who he realized he met her match. She met his match, and the two of them just battled consistently. But this is the very famous song from Carnival.
Love makes the world go round. Somebody soon will love you if no one loves you now. High in some silent sky, love sings a silver song, making the softly. Love makes the world go round. Silent sky, love sings a silver song, making the earth whirl softly. Love makes the world go round.
Anna Maria Alberghetti and Love Makes the World Go Round. Now, there's another musical that you may not have heard of or forgotten about. It was called Little Me. It was Neil Simon's first musical written specifically for his old boss, Sid Caesar. Sid Caesar was tremendously temperamental, very alcoholic, and directing him was absolutely awful. And it's really considered a great comic gem today. The problem then was Sid Caesar was out of control. And the director one night said to him, oh, by the way, it even featured Bob Fosse choreography. And the director said to him, you know, Sid, you were a little slow tonight. And Sid Caesar's response was, slow like a glacier melting, slow like snow melting, slow like Chinese water torture. And you just couldn't talk to him because of his alcoholic state at the time. The show closed really early, but it was a perfect production for him where he played 9 different characters, all husbands of the same single actress. It too created 2 hit songs.
The worst thing I ever saw.
Your number, I know you inside out. You ain't no Eagle Scout, you're all at sea.
Oh yeah, you brag a lot, wave your own flag a lot, but you're unsure a lot, you're a lot like me.
I've got your number, what you're looking for.
And what I'm looking for just suits me fine. We'll break the rules a lot. We'll be darn fools a lot. But then why should we not?
How could we not combine?
When I've got your number, I've got the glow you've got. I've got your number, and baby, you know you've got
Now, the lyric actually goes, there's the word darn in there, and that was because TV wouldn't allow damn. Hold on, let's not get it wrong. Another thing, this was inspired. This was showing how television shows were taking the concept of a Broadway show into situation comedy. And the Dick Van Dyke Show had several episodes that were structured exactly like Broadway shows reviews and reviews of, like a review. Anyway, here's another one that's from Little Me.
Hey, Yanks, guess who's coming?
Real live girls. Real live girls. Nothing can beat getting swept off your feet by a real live girl. Dreams in your bunk don't compare with a hunk of a real live girl. Speaking of miracles, this must be it.
Just when I started to learn how to knit.
I'm all in stitches from finding what riches a waltz can reveal with a real live girl.
And of course, that's another great song. Well, Hello Dolly actually didn't even have the name Hello Dolly when it started out in Detroit. It was called Dolly Levi, a very exasperating woman. And it was really in a great deal of trouble. David Merrick, who was producing it, had actually thought of shutting it down in Detroit. They couldn't come to terms with what was wrong with it. And two things happened simultaneously. The first was they decided that they needed to create a new number for the end of the first act, that the number A Penny in My Pocket, which had the emphasis on Horace, just flattened out the whole play, and it just didn't seem to fit what really the story was about. So David Merrick brings Strauss and Adams, unbeknownst to Jerry Herman, to Detroit because David Merrick had lost faith in Jerry Herman at this point. And there is some belief that the song Elegance and Don't Rain Before the Parade Passes By actually were not written by Jerry Herman, although it's a lot of question about that. But what happened also the same day when this meeting took place was a recording is sent to Jerry Herman of his of the title song Hello Dolly. They were all like laughing hysterically because Louis Armstrong had never had a top 10 song. And the fact that he recorded this and that it seemed to catch on, they decided maybe what they should do is change the whole name of the play to Hello Dolly. Here, of course, is the really famous rendition of that song.
Hello, Dolly. This is Louis Dolly. Mighty glad to have you back where you belong. You looking swell, darling. I can tell, darling. You keep glowing You're still growing, you're still going strong. I feel the room swaying and the band is playing one of our old favorite tunes from way back when. So take off, rap fellas, and do an empty lap fella. Darling, never go my way again. And the band playing one of our old favorite tunes from way back when.
Unbelievable. Now, no one ever thought that would become a top 10 hit. It rose to the top 10 alongside I Want to Hold Your Hand and She Loves Me. I mean, it was just unprecedented to think that Louis Armstrong, at the age of 62 years old, who had never had a top 10 hit, would take a song out of the second act of a musical on its way to New York and make a cultural icon out of it. Interestingly enough, just to reinforce, Jerry Herman would have had no idea that this was actually going to happen. And he truly, you send out a demo recording and you just hope that someone is going to record it, but you just never know for sure. Anyway, here's the next iconic moment, which is Barbra Streisand in Funny Girl. Now, the song People, Funny Girl also had a very storied ride into Broadway. They didn't know that Streisand was going to be the person that they were going to select. They really thought it would be Anne Bancroft or Carol Burnett. But when Streisand gets it, Julie Stein writes a song just for her. And as it's trying out in Boston, they listen to this song and they think it makes no sense to the plot at all. That why in the world would Fanny Brice, after the opening of the Ziegfeld Follies, sing a song about people needing people or the luckiest people in the world? They wanted to cut it. And Streisand was adamant. They said, if you cut it, you're absolutely wrong. This song is going to be the biggest hit from the musical. And tonight is Tuesday. I get to play it tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday 3 times. If by Thursday night they don't have the people standing, screaming for more, cut it. Well, we all know that.
children. Lovers are very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you are half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst. First be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the
Streisand always knew what was best for her. And, the fact that maybe the song doesn't fit the script, well, that's okay. It certainly is the monumental moment that so many wait for in Funny Girl. Well, Oliver had another interesting challenge. It had been touring the United States for a year before it opens on Broadway. Dickens and the American public not being as familiar, perhaps, with Oliver Twist as the British. David Merrick wanted to make sure that the music was going to drive people to see the musical. Well, after the Kennedy assassination, there were lots of musicals that were no longer attracting audiences. People just weren't going to the theater. And they begged Ed Sullivan to let Georgia Brown come on a Sunday night and sing the most famous song from Oliver. And what's interesting was the night they chose turns out to be the night the Beatles make their introduction on the Ed Sullivan Show as well. Ed Sullivan couldn't get a good recording of this, so he threatened if the girls weren't quiet in the audience, he would empty the theater and they wouldn't hear the Beatles at all. So here's Georgia Brown in As Long As He Needs Me.
As long as he needs me, I know where I must be, but will he never see that someone else needs me? As long as life is long, I'll love him, right or wrong.
Good night.
Well, it actually ran twice because she did the full run of the song and then he felt that he owed it to Oliver to run it again. Now, here's a musical you may have never heard of or may have forgotten. It actually ran for over a year and a half in 1964 called What Makes Sammy Run, based upon the Bud Schulberg novel of the press agent who, just doesn't cuddle up well to people. Abe Burrows directed it. And, you say, Steve, I never heard of this, or I don't remember it, or what is it? Well, you'll know the song because everybody that was a male singer was recording this one.
A room without windows, a room without doors, a room where no guy but I can spy the charms that are yours. Like being marooned on an island far from civilized shores, you and me in a room without windows, a room without doors. No bells will be ringing, no telephone calls. In our little well little secluded cell of ceiling and walls, while dozens of males sit and chew their nails and hate me because I am yours in a room without windows, a room without doors. If they said, friend, how would you like to spend the long hereafter? I tell them what we're after is a one-way ticket to a room without keyholes, a room with no view. We'd like to reside there, hide there for an era or two, completely wrapped up in each other, while the whole world ignores you and me in a room without windows, a room without doors.
Now, it just makes you want to get up and dance, doesn't it? But anyway, what makes Sammy Run a long-forgotten musical, but that song part of culture at the time? Now, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. Another musical we just don't really see anymore, but everybody seems to know the title because this was the era of interesting titles, I believe. David Merrick imported it from London, and these songs, too, were recorded by everybody. It's sort of an everyman story about how man keeps making decisions that just don't really play out and how things that can go wrong in life. But Sammy Davis Jr. put many of these songs on the
A
map.
musical collage, if you will, of Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. Just once in a lifetime, a man knows a moment, one wonderful moment, when fate takes his hand. And this is my moment, my once in a lifetime, when I can explore a new and exciting land. For once in my lifetime, I feel like a child. I soar like an eagle, as though I had wings. For this is my moment, my destiny holds me, and though it may be just once in my lifetime, I'm gonna do great things. I wanna be rich with money to burn. 1,000 a week will give me a turn. Give me half a chance in the south of France to make my pitch, and I'll be dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking rich. Gonna build a mountain from a little hill. Gonna build me a mountain. Least, I hope I will. Gonna build a mountain. Gonna build it high. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, only know I'm gonna try. Gonna build me a heaven from a little hell. Gonna build me a heaven, and I know darn well that if I build a mountain with a lot of care, I'll take my daydream up the mountain and the heaven will be waiting there. And with a fine young son who can take my place, I'll leave a son in my heaven on earth with the good Lord's grace. For life, life is a woman, an endless surprise, always opening up your heart and closing your eyes, bending your brain, showering you with sunshine, love, and pain. And like a woman, life changes each day, holds you closely to her heart, then throws you away. What can you say? Guess it's one more game we learn to play. And like a woman, life can save your soul with a kiss. One gentle kiss, and all the anger, all the fear, all the pain and sadness disappear. Life, being a woman, will never give in. Takes a special kind of fool to think he can win. Who wants to win? Life is a woman. Life is a woman. And if she smiles on you, a woman is your life. So how could someone nice like you, Evie, fall in love with one like me? When I think of all the men you could have loved, the men you should have loved, who would have loved you? You're worth so much more than me, Evie. Believe in me, Evie. You know that's true. But if we could live twice might make life paradise for someone really nice like you. Evie? Evie?
You know, Sammy Davis Jr. was considered one of the greatest entertainers, and I wanted to play that whole segment because he took less famous songs from Stop the World and even made them entertaining and wonderful in his act. And of course, there was the roar, the grease paint, and the smell of the crowd. Not nearly as successful, but Sammy Davis Jr. took these on as well.
One thing that you have that every singer would like to have right now, and that's a great big hit record. One of the biggest records to come along in 10 years. Now, I'm going to talk to you straight from the shoulder.
All right.
You want to sing it for us?
Well, I'll tell you what, Andy, I'll answer you straight from the shoulder.
Yes.
What kind of fool am I who never fell in love? It seems that I'm the only one that I have been thinking of. What kind of man is this that could not see what could be seen by almost everyone but me? What kind of lips are these that lied with every kiss, that whispered empty words of love, that left me alone like this? Why can't I fall in love like any other man? Maybe then I'll know what kind of fool I am. What kind of clown am I? What do I know of life? Why can't I cast away this mask of play and live my life? Why can't I fall in love till I don't give a damn? And maybe then I'll know what kind of fool I am.
He was considered one of the greatest entertainers ever. And The Roar of the Grease Paint was certainly not a great success, and most people don't necessarily remember it. But what's interesting about both of those two musicals, Anthony Newley wrote songs in it that have become just absolutely famous pop score standards. Let's see if we can get this thing to work here.
Involved in Golden Boy. So I would like, thank you. I would like to sing a song from a Broadway show, if I may. Not my show, but a show that was written by my very good friend, Mr. Anthony Newley. It's called Roar of the Grease Paint and the Smell of the Crowd. And this is his hit song from that show, with your kind permission. Who can I turn to when nobody needs me? My heart wants to know, and so I must go where destiny leads me.
So obviously, the song was so popular, it was done all of the time. Now, On a Clear Day, You Can See Forever, another odd musical, one that I actually performed in twice in my acting days, had a magnificent score. And oh my goodness, the ticket prices were $11.90. And the idea of the show was that this woman comes to see a psychiatrist to stop smoking and go under hypnosis, and he discovers that he thinks she's lived another life. Well, the song, On a Clear Day You Can See Forever, was recorded by everyone as well. This is Shirley Bassey.
And you see who you are on a clear day. How it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You'll feel perfect. Every mountain, sea and shore, you can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. And on a clear day, on a clear day, you can see forever and evermore. On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You feel heaven, every mountain, sea and shore. You can hear from far and near a word you've never heard before. And on a clear day, on a clear day,
Now, Shirley Bassey recorded Goldfinger, just in case you weren't sure who Shirley Bassey was. Well, the Man of La Mancha also created a hit song that was so sung so often that it almost became a cliche of itself. I mean, The Impossible Dream is a magnificent song. Many people think it justifies our participation in the war in Vietnam, but it was sung by everybody to the point of ad nauseum. But here it is.
Some time ago, the whole town was singing about the Jones Boy, but things have changed. Now the Jones Boy is doing the singing, and the whole town is talking about him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jack Jones.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to be better far than you are, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to give when there's no more to give, to be willing to die so that honor and justice may live. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this. That one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star.
Now, the lyrics were changed for that production to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. There were a lot of political overtones to this, and the lyrics were changed for Jack Jones, obviously. Cabaret, we all know the story of Cabaret and the metaphor that the nightclub was set in Berlin being a metaphor for the state of Germany in 1931. The songs became hits. I'm going to play the Liza Minnelli version from the movie, but then I want to play a popularized version of it. And it's amazing how such a tragic song really became such a popular success.
I give you that international sensation, Fräulein Sally Bowles! What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book, and the broom. It's time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine, come hear the band.
Come blow your horn, start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. What good's permitting some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away? Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret.
Now, the woman has just had an abortion. She's ended a love affair. She knows that she's somewhat doomed. And, the song gets lifted out and is performed almost anywhere you can imagine. And, again, the musicals become the context for these songs, but when they're recorded by performers, they take on a life of their own. Now, the musical I Do, a story of a 50-year marriage, was again written by the team that wrote The Fantastics, directed by Gower Champion, and produced by David Merrick. This song hit the pop charts as well.
Sometimes in the morning, when shadows are deep, I lie here beside you, just watching you sleep. And sometimes I whisper what I'm thinking of. My cup runneth over with love. Sometimes in the evening, when you do not see, I study the small things you do constantly. I memorize moments that I'm fondest of. My cup runneth over with love. In only a moment, we both will be old. We won't even notice the world turning cold. And so in this moment, with sunlight above, my cup runneth over with love. My cup runneth over with love.
Ed Ames recorded that. It became a big hit. And again, what this demonstrates is how the Broadway musical became the source of so many hit songs. Now, when Bacharach and David were brought on to write Promises, Promises, it happened in an odd way. Neil Simon had never met David Merrick, and David Merrick invites him to lunch, because after all, by this point in time, Neil Simon had had one hit after another on Broadway, and The Star-Spangled Girl had just opened, I believe, and Plaza Suite was in progress. And he says to Neil, well, if you were to write a musical based upon a movie, what movie do you think it should be? And Neil Simon says, well, The Apartment. And then he asks Neil Simon, well, if you were to get a songwriting team to write this musical, who would you get? And Neil Simon says, oh, Bacharach and David. And then Neil Simon says, well, who would you get to star in it? And he says, oh, no doubt, Jerry Orbach. Well, 2 weeks later, David Merrick calls Neil Simon back and says, Neil, you're on. We got them all. Well, the interesting thing is that Promises, Promises may be one of the last musicals to have pop songs on the hit charts. We still have a couple more to talk through. But, Promises, Promises, the problem with it is Burt Bacharach and Hal David were writing pop songs that didn't quite fit the tone of the play.
What do you get when you fall in love? A guy with a pen to burst your bubble. That's what you get for all your trouble. I never fall in love again. I'll never fall in love again. kiss a guy, you get another chance to catch pneumonia. Then you do, and never fall, yeah, never fall in love again. Don't you know that I'll never fall in love again? Don't tell me what it's all about, 'cause I've been there and I'm glad I'm out of those chains that bind you. That is why I'm here to remind you, what do you get when you fall in love? You only get lies and pain and sorrow. So for at least until tomorrow, I'll never fall in love again. No, no, I'll never fall in love again. I'm out of those chains that bind you. That is why I'm here to remind you, what do you get when you fall in love? You only get lies and pain and sorrow. So for at least until tomorrow, I'll never fall in love again. Don't you know that I'll never fall in love again? I'll never fall in love again.
Dionne Warwick was really his muse, but Burt Bacharach, still alive at 92, is considered one of the great writers of the last half of the 20th century, by the way. And this is another song that he wrote for the play. Now, let me just note, before this goes on any further, the problem with these songs is, for example, the last song, I'll Never Fall in Love Again, the characters just attempted suicide, and that's the song she sings when they save her life. It just doesn't fit the tone, although the songs are fantastic.
Promises, promises, I'm a through with promises, promises now. I don't know how I got the nerve to walk out. If I shout, remember, I feel free. Now I can look at myself and be proud. I'm laughing out loud.
Again, a great song. The songs were pop songs of the day, which did propel the run of Promises, Promises. But the script today, when you look at it, and the songs, they don't fit. I want to play another quick song. Golden Rainbow, a musical based on the movie A Hole in the Head. Most everybody has forgotten about it, but this had one really great popular song in it. And ironically, I thought back and I couldn't remember. I went to New York on a Broadway audition when I was 18, and I couldn't remember what did I use as my audition song, and it happened to be this.
Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I gotta be me, I gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? I just want to live, not merely survive. And I won't give up the dream that keeps me alive. I gotta be me, I gotta be me. The dream that I see makes me what I am. That faraway prize, the world of success. It's waiting for me if I'll heed the call. I won't settle down or settle for less. If there's a chance, I can have it all. You recognize me now? If that's how it must be, I can't be right for somebody else. If I'm not right for me, I gotta be free, I gotta be free. Daring to try to do it or die, I gotta be me.
And, Sammy Davis Jr. made that song immensely popular. Now, some of the last pop songs to ever hit the pop charts came from the musical Hair. Um, really kind of interesting, and of course, we all know who they are. Aren't we up dancing? You know, those were big hit songs. Here's another one from Hair, Three Dog Night. Again, these songs were all over the radio in 1968, 69, and 70.
How can people be so heartless? How can people be so cruel? Easy to be hard, easy to be cold. How can people have no feeling? How can they ignore their friends?
to be proud, easy to say no. Especially people who care about strangers, who care about evil and social injustice. Do you only care about the bleeding crowd? I need a friend. I need a
So again, Hair created all of these pop songs. We have three more biggies I want to share with you. One, of course, is A Little Night Music, Send in the Clowns. No one would have ever assumed that this would become the hit that it became.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Where are the clowns? Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps staring around, one who can't move. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally finding the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, so sure of my lines, and no one is there. Don't you love a farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. I'm sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here.
No one ever anticipated that would become the biggest hit ever. Well, it's about 14 years later when Cats really launches on the scene and becomes a big hit because this song was released 6 months ahead of the Cats opening.
Her memory, she is smiling alone. In the lamplight, the withered leaves collect at my feet, and the wind begins to mourn. Memory, all alone in the moonlight, I can dream of the old days. Life was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. Every street lamp seems to beat a fatal and soon it will be morning. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new day will begin.
That song really is what moved Cats to stratospheric success. Everyone knew the song. It came out 6 months before Cats arrived, predominantly because Cats had negative reviews in London, but it was running anyway because people knew the material and they wanted to see it. And I wanted to end with one last song. You know, many of us don't listen to the hip hop charts, but this song from Hamilton has been a big success there. You know, the taste in music may have changed and the style of the productions may have changed, but these are all hits that came from the musicals that have become a part of our culture. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought this was just really kind of an interesting way to show you the impact of Broadway musicals on pop radio and listening. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me or if anything anybody wants to know. I'm just reading through the chats. See if there's anything anybody specifically wanted to ask. Well, you know, it's interesting about sending the cons. Frank Sinatra's voice was clearly going then, and the orchestration was a little too slow, which was a shame. Um, and you know, again, I'm reading. Thank you for posting the song lyrics. That was lovely of you. And as somebody said, yeah, gotta be me. The thing was from a Broadway musical and my audition piece once upon a time. Anyway, okay, I'm glad everybody was here. I'll see you all next Friday. Oh, is that a question, Rosalie? Did you have a question for me? I thought I saw your hand go up. No? Just waving. Okay, everybody, see you all next week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.